Hey everyone, today we'll be solving Leetcode number 100, same tree. Before we start, I wanted to mention that I'm taking suggestions for future videos on my channel, so if you want to see me solve a specific Leetcode problem, just leave a comment below and I'll be sure to get to it. So this problem, same tree, is another problem off the Blind 75 list, which is a list of problems commonly asked during technical interviews. In this problem, we are given the roots of two binary trees, namely P and Q, and what we want to do is write a function to check that these are actually the same. We are told that two binary trees are considered the same if they are structurally identical and the nodes have the same value. So we are given here an example below, example 1, where we have two trees. Both of these trees have as their root node the node with value 1. Furthermore, both of these root nodes have as a left subtree a node with value 2, and both of these nodes have as the right subtree a node with value 3. Furthermore, when going to these left and right subtrees, we see that these are singular nodes and do not have children. Therefore, these two trees can be considered identical and we return true. On the right, we have a second example. We have two trees with a root node of value 1, which are the same. However, in the case of the first tree, we have a left node, a left child with value 2, while in the second case, we have no left child, and instead we have a right child with value 2. Therefore, these two trees are not the same and we return false. I have drawn an example here now so that we can determine the algorithm in order to solve this problem. Or what we want to do is write out a recursive depth first search function which will go and apply these three checks to both of the trees, and specifically to each of the nodes in both of the trees in order to determine whether or not the two trees are the same. So we can write out this depth first search function using pseudocode, and we'll say that this depth first search function receives initially the two roots of the trees, root 1 and root 2. What we want to do is return true based on whether or not these three conditions are true. So we said that first we want to check that the two root nodes are the same. Therefore, what we will do is return whether or not root1.val is equal to root2.val. We said that we also wanted to check two other conditions, so we'll put an end. We want to check that the left subtree is the same. And in order to do this, we can just simply pass in the root of the left subtree into our depth first search function, once again in order to check that those two values of the roots of the left subtrees are the same. Finally, we will have to do the same comparison for the right subtree. And this is basically what our recursive depth first search function will look like. We will go on and first pass in the roots of our two trees, which in this case of our example is 4. After having evaluated that these two are the same, we will move on to the left subtrees and make sure that those are the same. When doing this, we're passing in the node with value 3 this time. And what we will do in this case is again check to make sure that these two nodes are the same, and then go and pass in the left subtree, and afterwards the right subtree. Note that two empty trees are the same. So when doing this, we will return true from the null trees, which are the children of 3. Afterwards, we will pass in the right subtree of 4 to this function, and the right subtree of 4 in the second tree to this function. Again, we will compare the two nodes and know that they are the same, and apply the same rules to the left and right subtree. Once again, we will obtain that all of these subtrees are the same, so we know that our output will be true. This is a linear time solution, or O of n, because in this case, what we're doing is running through each of the nodes of both of the subtrees once in order to check that they are the same, and then recursively apply the same function to its children. We are going through each and every node only once for both of the subtrees, so our solution is linear in time. Okay, so we're back here in Leetcode, and we are given this function isSameTree with two root values, p and q, and want to make sure that these two trees are in fact the same. We said we had 3 checks to go through in order to determine this. That the two roots are the same, the left subtree is the same, and the right subtree is the same. So what we'll do is start a return statement, which will return true or false based on whether or not these 3 conditions are true. So what we can say is that we want to return whether or not p.val is equal to q.val, and also that self that is same tree, so we're calling the same function once again, passing in the left childs of the two trees. We want to make sure that this returns true, and also that the same returns true for the right subtrees. However, we cannot just only write this up because we have some edge cases to take care of. We will reach the case where we reach two null trees if the trees have no more children. So what we want to do is return true if we have reached two null nodes, because when we have a null tree, we know that the two trees are the same. So we can say if p and q do not exist, so they are both null, we will return true. However, a problem will occur and we will need to return false if one of the nodes is null while the other is not. The nodes have to either be the same or both be null in order to return true. So what we'll do is, in this return statement, add two other conditions. We need, in fact, that both p and q are true. So we will add those two conditions in here. Now we can run our function, and we see that it works. I also wanted to show you guys another way of solving this problem by declaring an inner function inside the function which is given to us. We can call this function compare, and again receive the nodes p and q, and apply the same checks within this function. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one.